to learning a lot from you. And most of all, getting inspired, getting that spark that you have. And you are so kind in spreading that spark, sharing that spark of knowledge and wisdom and compassion. I have, so much to say about you, but time would be short. And just wanted to check that you are comfortable today. We'll begin formally in 1 minute. Ma'am, are you having stable connectivity? Because in the beginning, I felt
As of
that.
now, yes.
Okay.
No,
Because
no.
I
As
felt,
of now, yes. That is because of two devices. I had two
okay.
devices. That's the only
Okay, ma'am. So in case whenever you feel that you are facing connectivity issues, then we would be fine also with your camera being off in case it helps you. That later,
problem.
whenever that happens, just to let you know. So it's 3:30, and with Seema ma'am's permission, we would formally begin with the event. So namaste and welcome to all our friends from Ramratna International School and friends from the various schools across the country. In the series of Aadharshila Talks, we have been listening to one erudite speaker after another. And in the series, we again have another gem of an educator to, to take us through a beautiful journey of learning. Let me formally introduce today's speaker, one of my most favorite educators, Ms Seema Shaikh, ma'am. Ms Seema Shaikh
Thank you so much.
is an
Thanks for your
educator.
kind words, Jayati.
I really can't say enough about you. So I'm just doing a little formal introduction. So Miss Seema Shaikh is the head of Pragya Bodhini, Pragya Prabodhini School, Goregaon, Mumbai. She has been the British Council's she has presented conferences and was the development and peace education speaker at the National Peace Conference Delhi 2019. She's a trained for the school institutions, part of NEP web series presenter by British Council. Her school has won several accolades like top 10 best schools of Mumbai by Education World, and the Teacher Foundation declared the school as the most transformed school. And I'm sure there's a long list of these accolades and awards. One thing which has not been mentioned here is that ma'am is a member of the core team of ETST, Education Today Society Tomorrow, where I'm a colleague working with ma'am, learning a lot from. Today's
Thank you.
topic is very interesting. And before we move on to that, I would like everyone to understand that besides or behind this very professional education and academic oriented discussions we might have, there is something which you must know about ma'am as a person, as a human being. I haven't come across somebody as compassionate as her. I really would like to mention at this stage that when my daughter was suffering from COVID and people were sending their love and wishes for my daughter and the family, she is the one who did not just stop at sending the prayers in words, but she sent me a kit of things, various things, little things that hold a special place in my heart, which I could actually use to give to my daughter and we all could use at home during those difficult times. Ma'am, it is,
Come on, there.
cherished. Thank you so much. That's what a teacher is all about. So my pranams to you. Coming on to the topic today, we'll learn what is the difference between global awareness and global competence. We will be talking or delving in depth about global competence. And what I understand is it's a multidimensional construct that requires a combination of knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values, which we can apply to global issues or intercultural situations. So let's invite ma'am and understand what global competency is, how is it different from global awareness, what is the dive model, and Is it possible to get a bird eye view of 21st century essentials for all of us as educators to bring it into our students? And how can we create a compassionate world? How can we confidently navigate our way through complex cultural differences? How can we learn to focus objectively and use generalizations effectively? Can so much be done in 1 hour session? I think when it comes to Ms. Seema Shaikh, anything and everything is possible. So, ma'am, I formally now invite you to take over the stage. Once again, my
Thank you.
gratitude.
Thank you, Jayaji, for all your kind words. And I really am humbled by your words, And actually, I should say I was very happy when we had a talk and you asked for the topic, and I said, can I talk about global competency? And you agreed to it immediately because this is one topic which is so close to my heart. And that's why I was all the more eager to talk about this. So, dear friends, why have we all gathered over here today? I think today we all live in a global village. And that is why it's all the more essential for us to understand the dynamics of this global village. Because we see that today we are living in such a diverse, interconnected, integrated world, and which can also be called as a very complex ecosystem. And to indulge ourselves into this system without developing any complexes, whether it be inferiority or a superiority complex, we need to stay alive in it. And when I say alive, it is not just physically. I'm talking about the mental and the emotional life of the being. And today, somewhere I feel that this is what is getting lost. We are all getting very materialistic. We are getting connected so well digitally. But are we getting emotionally connected? And I think when we become globally competent, we will be definitely emotionally connected. Then what have we to do? What is our role as teachers? Our role as teachers, I feel, and educators, is to get ourselves empowered. So when we get empowered, we will be mindful about our own responses and developing in ourselves those abilities which are essential for bridging these gaps, and to take things ahead in such a way that whatever learning we have achieved in all these Aadharshila talks can be actually applied into the real life situation, not only for ourselves, but for our students. So what is very important is the cascading process. Whatever I share with you and whatever I take back from you, that needs to be cascaded to our students. I think that ripple effect has to be seen. Then only we can say that we have become globally competent. Because that is what global competency is all about reaching out to the people. So I'm going to have a small activity for you all, and I hope you are going to enjoy it. It's something very interesting, and I want you all to write your answers in the chat box. So I will view the chat box. In case you are not able to, then only you can tell me orally. But yes, otherwise chat box will be fine. I am going to call out the names of a few countries. All that you have to do is write down the name of the continent to which they belong. Okay? You only have to write down the name of the continent. I will be calling out the name of the country. So no need in, at the most what you can write is just TA, just initials of the that country's name. Okay? So shall I begin? Already set? Yes. The game starts now. So a few countries that I'll be calling out. Um, as I call out, I will also be sharing my screen now. So the first slide, Ashley. Give me a minute's time. Yes. Can you all see my screen? Yeah. So we all want to be global citizens. And what is happening is the search has now begun. Global citizens wanted. We all want to become global citizens. And if you see, this is all the world map. Let us see how much of steps have we taken towards this global citizenship? So here the task begins. Okay. Tanzania. I'm talking about Tanzania. And you all can even call out aloud, so there will be a little noise. And oh, Africa. Yes, South Africa. Someone is getting more precise. Good, good. Uh, Trinidad, Trinidad, Trinidad. Trinidad again is called as South Africa. Are you all sure about it? Some say South America. So yeah, see, now our journey has started. We are now taking steps. Yeah, one more comes to you. Brazil. Brazil now. I would like answers for Brazil. Brazil. Some say it's BRICS. Some say it's South America. Someone has written Africa. Yeah. Now Haiti. 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 People pronounce it very differently. That's why I'm giving you this pronunciation. Okay, Africa. Okay. New Zealand. Where does New Zealand fall in? New Zealand, North America. New Zealand. New Zealand in UK. New Zealand in Australia. New Zealand in South America. New Zealand in North America. Okay, Seychelles. Where does Seychelles fall? Seychelles. Below Australia. We are talking about the continents. Seychelles. Seychelles in Asia. Seychelles in Africa, Seychelles in South America, Seychelles in Oceania, Seychelles in Africa, Seychelles in Africa, Seychelles in Asia. Okay, Mongolia in Asia, Mongolia in Africa, Mongolia in Asia, Mongolia in Asia. Okay, now one more, Indonesia. Where does Indonesia fall? Indonesia in Asia. Okay, you get it with the sound. Now, Micronesia. Oh, that's in Asia. Are you sure? Because of the Asia sound. Okay, so, and the last one is Georgia. Where does Georgia come? Micronesia is in Australia. Georgia is in America. Okay, Georgia, are you sure? Europe, North America, Europe, Eurasia. Oh, America. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now I'm going to show you a slide where you are going to be analyzing your own answers, what you have written. The slide will be on the screen for 2 minutes. I request Ashley to put on the second slide of the world map for you to see. Second slide of the world map goes over here for you to check your global competency over here. Come on, check it. Ashley, quickly put on the map, the second slide. Yeah, now check for yourself. Here, y'all are not going to disclose out whether how many of y'all have got right or wrong, but this is for y'all to know. And then we will check on our global competence. Yeah, there were so many who said Trinidad is in Africa. So many of y'all said that Georgia is in America. Brazil is in Africa. Now look at your answer. So as teachers, as educators, I think we all need to sit with our world maps before we really start our journey on global competency. But there is nothing to be worried about. Even I miss out on all those things. But yes, once a week I do look at the map, to know what are the places that I really fix. Yes, but as I always believe that in our classrooms, if we really want to develop global competency, what we need to do is keep our children very engaged, very active, with a very, very holistic approach, and keeping the class joyful. So I'm going to make it joyful for you. I'm going to, within 2 minutes, when I tell Ashley, you do it at that time, I'm going to share one more slide with you, which has certain questions. The answers you have to write on a paper for yourself. Again, as I say, this is the new norm, you are your self-analyzer. Your teacher doesn't have to give you marks. You have to give marks for yourself. So I'm not your teacher. I'm not your mentor. I'm just your co-partner sharing my thoughts with you. So keep your answers to yourself. And over to the next slide, Ashley. Yes, let us see. Yeah. Go global. Are you aligned or are you an alien? Is my question to you. These are a few of my favorite things, places, and people. Now I'm going to read out the question and you will write the answer. Your favorite coffee joint, your favorite coffee shop. Come on, may it be CCD or Cafe Coffee, Starbucks. I don't know the names, but yeah, there are hundreds of it. I hardly go, but yeah, you all may be having CCD. Yeah, you put it in the chat box also. Perfectly all right. Cafe Coffee, Starbucks. Those who are not comfortable with this can write on the paper. Oh, Cafe Coffee, CCD. Oh, there are some more also. Oh, Nestle. Yeah, I love Nestle. I love Nestle. Even. Okay. Your favorite mobile phone, your favorite mobile phone, favorite mobile phone, iPhone 3310. I'm learning the names today. iPhone 13. Again, Samsung. Good. Your apparel brand, your apparel brand, the Central Perk. Now, what is this? All, all apparels. That's nice. Fab India. I love that. Yeah, cottons. Yeah, Ritu Kumar, Meera Road, Levi's, whatever you call it. Four wheeler, your four wheeler. Which is the four wheeler of your choice? Stop. Okay, let's go to four wheelers. Mercedes, Ferrari. Cotton King is over now, Usha. I can't hear. Gypsy. Thank you. Your English author, your favorite English author. Your favorite English author. Favorite English author. Come on, teachers. JK. Okay, Mark, JD. Oh, Ruskin, Jeffrey Archer. And your favorite TV brand, the brand of TV that you would love to use, or are you using it still? Yeah, come on. Now, Sony. Oh, LG, Sony, Bravia, Samsung. Okay, takeaway food joint. This is something I love. Takeaway food joint. Taco. Oh, taco. And then what? Now, no more TV brands. I want the food joints. Shahi, MacD, Subway. Okay, KFC. Your online series, online OTT platform, what you call it as. Online OTT platform. Netflix. None. Oh, okay, no problem. Even I have no favorites. Netflix. None. Okay. Breaking Bad. Online shopping portal. Oh, now here though, I think everyone is hooked on Amazon. Amma Jan comes to our house daily these days, you know. Amma Jan loves to visit our house. So that's Amazon for us. Yeah. And your salon, your favorite saloon. Lemon. Okay. Gregory, you have none. Okay. Enrich, DP. Oh, Big Boss, L'Oreal, Lemon, Lakme, B Blunt. Thank you so much. Thank you for your answers. And that's the end of it. So now comes my question to you that if you look at all these brands that you have spoken about, most of them don't belong per se to India. So then we have become global citizens, isn't it? We are global citizens because we are using brands, we are having coffee, we are wearing apparels, and we are shopping at places which are not Indians. And that is why we are global. We have gone global, isn't it? But still, a question comes to you from me. Is this really global competency? So, our next slide. This is only being aware. We are aware globally what is happening across the globe. This is not our competency. We are all aware. We know which joints, which countries are where in which continent, and we know which is the best coffee joint. We know which is the best saloon, the best spa. But that is only awareness. And I think this is where we have to start thinking where we are, what we are, and where we have to go. What steps we need to take. Because today, the technology, the digital media has brought the world so close, that everything is available for us at the tip of the mouth. We don't have to worry about anything. And our children also are aware of it. Then, what is our role as teachers? Because knowledge is already available for them. What we need to do is to give them the wisdom to use this knowledge so that they become globally competent. Whatever is available, how to utilize it, not only to their own benefit, but for the benefit of mankind, is something which is called as a global competent citizen. And that is what is global competence. Because as I said earlier, that we all live in such a diverse culture. And this diverse culture is associated with, a different kind of an environment in every place. I am brought up with a different cultural experience. You are brought up with a different cultural experience. And that is why we each one looked at a particular happening or an experience with totally different eyes. And this is what is creating so much of havoc and chaos in the world. Because each one is looking at it differently. And each one is saying it's like the six blind men and the elephant. And each one is saying that I'm in the right. So though each one is in the right and all are in the wrong, and all are in the right. So this is where our role as educators comes. How can we make them globally competent? We have to develop certain competencies in them. And these competencies will enable them to live in this complex world more effectively. They will be able to create that space for themselves, which will not only make them happy, but spread happiness across. They will be able to live with lot of attitude at the top. That's what I always say. Let us believe in the ask model. The ask model says that let attitude be at the topmost level. Let skills follow that, and then the knowledge. Because knowledge will be available. Skills can be honed. Attitude needs to be developed. And this attitude development can happen only through a teacher. And that is why there is no substitute for a teacher. There is no substitute. However much digitally we go, virtually we teach, and we say that we are connected. But I think the teacher connect is here for keeps, and that is why schools will never, I say, will never go away from this world. They are here for keeps. They are here to stay. And that is why salute to all the teachers for making this possible, making schools possible. That is something which I always value. That I think we are the real warriors. We are the ones who have created this world. Good or bad, I will not say. But we are the makers of it. And then it is up to us to stir it in the right direction. So let us become globally competent. And I will just show you one poster, um, and that is about global awareness and global competency. So we are fighting this battle. Are we globally aware? Are we globally competent? So there is a lot of indecisiveness, a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety about it also in our minds. Oh my, am I just aware? Am I competent? Will I be able to do? So when we want to send our children out of schools, we don't want them to be aliens, but we want them to be aligned. We want them to be aligned to the world, so that when they go out, they don't get lost in the world. They feel that yes, they are the part of that world, and that's why I think the NEP has come at the right time, when we are actually connecting our children with the outside world, when we are connecting school campuses, when we are designing so many new programs through NEP. And I think this is where the change is going to happen, and all our children are going to become globally competent. And if you thoroughly read through every point of NEP, you will realize that their focus is global competence. So let's see the next slide of global competency. This is a slide which I'm going to give you a minute to look at. I'm not going to talk about it, but I want you to look at it, because this is such an important slide for us to understand how we are going to navigate our children to reach towards this global competence. Each one has one's own perception. Perceive this slide and understand. Let's observe 1 minute silence and observe this slide. Let it be, let it be. lovely. It depicts really how nations do. Whatever you all feel, you all can put it in the chat box. I'm very happy with that. In journey. Diverse, inclusive. Yeah, lot of things. Learning and moving together. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. So this small depiction was for us to understand that today we have to make our children, enable them to live in this world of inclusiveness, where children are able to differentiate between equality and equity. It should not be taken as one. They understand microaggressions and they are able to adapt to different cultures. And I think then only we really become globally competent. So let us today try to understand this global competency a little deeply. It is a different window for all of us to see through. Yeah, beautifully said. Yes, so let's see the next slide. And this slide is something which is very important. And here we are not going to talk in the chat box, but I will love you all to answer. Please take turns to answer what it really means to be globally competent. So we have to look at four aspects. So let us talk about each aspect a little bit in detail. Embracing diversity with awareness. So can anyone throw light on this embracing diversity with awareness? What do we mean by that? Embracing diversity with awareness.
The participants can unmute
Yeah.
themselves and share their thoughts.
And if someone is not comfortable, you can put it in the chat box. But otherwise, we are fine listening to at least 2, 3 of your views.
Right.
Namaste, ma'am. This is Pushpendra here.
Hello.
Hi. So this is about the point that you mentioned about embracing diversity with awareness. So one of the examples that which came to my mind was we have in India, we have people of all, sects and religion and stuff. So when it comes to sensitivity about certain matters, so there should be a presence of mind and mindfulness when we are talking about something which is close to their perhaps religion or something which they are inclined, which is very sensitive. So one of the points that is a part of a globally competent person is likely to be someone who understands the sense and sensibility about this kind of stuff that we have in India.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyone else? One more answer we can take if there is someone. Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks. That's really true. And I feel that because we belong to such a diverse nation, and as I earlier said, that we are all living in a very complex world, and we are living in a world which has now become a global village. So, all the more essential for us to have this cultural acceptance. So, the first thing is we have to change our as educators should also take care of microaggressions, and we should also enable our children to understand what is microaggressions. In small things, even at our level, as educators, I have seen educators who have such a biasness, class teachers who have biasness about boys and girls. There are certain teachers who will say, oh, these girls are always good, boys are so troublesome. Sometimes it's the other way around. And this automatically, unknowingly, subconsciously gets reflected in their attitude and behavior with these children. So I think these are kind of microaggressions. When we see children coming from certain community, we are with a biasness that what kind of mindset they will be having. So all this, as 21st century competent citizens, we have to first fight our own battles and see that we accept people from all culture, we don't tolerate them, and we all should be ready for cultural shocks. Many times we get cultural shocks, especially when we are meeting people from different communities, from different religions, from different cultures. So I think this is where we need to understand that we all come from different background with different experiences and may have different perspectives. And that's why, rather than taking it as a cultural shock or an irritation or a barrier, we must be ready to look at it on a broader canvas. And I think this can happen in our classrooms also at small level. When children say something, because yes, very rightly said that every individual is very unique. And so in the class also, you will find that whatever we are teaching, whatever we are trying to transact with our students, our one technique of teaching is not going to get accepted by all. And we have to become competent enough to see that we are able to reach all. And that is what is inclusiveness. And this is what, and when we talk about inclusiveness, that is one very important aspect of global competency. So let us look at global competency from
Seema
this
ma'am,
grassroots level.
Seema ma'am, I would just like to
Please,
share my thoughts on it very quickly.
please.
So, what I feel is, if we all can develop that maturity uh, of understanding that we might have different opinions and views, but that doesn't mean if I disagree with you, I disrespect you. I may still
Very
love you, but not agree with you on everything, on your, whether it is your political affiliations, it is your religious sentiments,
exactly.
it's your thoughts on education, it could be anything. So this is something which people have used as a barrier between people.
Yeah,
That should be avoided. Everyone should have the
exactly.
freedom to their own affiliations and interests and thoughts. And second thing, if we all can be mature enough to understand that a person's thoughts are the person's thoughts, and should try to understand where it is coming from, where he or she is coming from, what has
Experiences.
probably led to that kind of a thinking, and embrace it, use it as an opportunity to learn more, know more, different perspectives, and evolve.
Very
Thank
true, very true. Thank you for that insight. And I think that is very important. We all understand our backgrounds from which people come. And I think even in our classrooms, when we try to understand the kind of background that our children come from, I think then the question of truancy, indiscipline, all these problems can be easily sorted out in the classroom itself. And I think this is the base of developing global competence. For that, you need not teach the child what he will do when he passes out of his 12th standard class and suppose he goes to US or he goes to UK. But what as a human being he can do wherever he is, and that is making him a globally competent citizen. He doesn't have to travel anywhere. A globally competent citizen doesn't travel anywhere. Even in his own place, he can be globally competent. How we will come to that later. The second aspect of it is the sense of interdependence. If y'all can put it in the chat box about what are your feelings about sense of interdependence, I'll be more than happy. A sense of interdependence is something which is so very important. Yeah, yeah, no man can live as an island. Very true. Strength and adds confidence. Definitely. Society, we are all connected. Yeah, very true. We cannot survive without other support. understand and emphasize as much as possible. We need each other. Yeah. And that's so very true, And this is where, as teachers, we can enable our children to develop this competency. Because we at our level get an opportunity, fantastic opportunity to talk about the various world happenings with the children. And we can show them, for example, right now, when the Afghanistan issue is going on, we can easily connect them with the problems that our country is now facing because of the problems in Afghanistan, because of the problems in Kabul. It's definitely empathy is developed, but at the same time, how we are interconnected, how are the repercussions and the ripple effects seen over here? The wildfire of US, how is it affecting the climate change globally? So when children come to know, so in the smaller classes, you may just begin with a plate of food on their plate and asking them, how has it reached on your plate? And children realize the connectivity, that how from the farmer to the plate, how many steps has the food gone through how many hands, and then finally reach the plate. Then I think children will learn to respect food, will not waste food, and our global problem of hunger and poverty is solved to a great extent. And we become global citizens, and we become globally competent citizens. So I say that let us not think of big things, in small measures, life can perfect. So as teachers, I want to tell them big things. I want to show them the world map. They should know which countries in which continent. They should know which are the big brands. They should know what is happening on the global map. They should definitely know. I'm not saying no to that. But after knowing that, is it going to just remain as information, or is it going to sip into their inner self, and they are going to be more compassionate, more kind, more helpful, more generous, more understanding, more amicable, and more lovable? This is my question. And that is what is global person. Coming to a very important part, that is developing the power of questioning. And I think this is
Seema
what.
ma'am, Seema ma'am, before you move on to the next point, I actually wanted to make a point here to all the educators. We all have been talking of new pedagogies and actually meaningful pedagogies, and we talk of project-based learning. I would borrow this, what you have said, and reiterate that from farm to the plate should be one project done by children.
I
And this little
agree.
activity, it's not little, but this beautiful activity will actually make them understand uh, what is interdependence. So why don't we all really start thinking? We are doing several projects on farming, global farming, etc. Sorry, what I'm what I was saying. Yeah, farming based. So it could be from farm to the plate,
Yeah.
and a child understands the different links. And similarly, it can give different ideas. So thank you for this title,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Even when the children prepare a web, you just give them a long string and then show them the food web and the food chain, which they actually make out. It's a lovely project where every child dresses up as that particular animal, different animals in an ecosystem. And then the thread goes on linking, and at the end of 15 minutes itself, you see a beautiful web created, and you realize the interdependence. So these kind of activities are very essential to create that global competency in our students. So on that lines, I will say now developing the power of questioning. So usually it is we teachers who put across the question. So I will say that this power of creating this ability in the child also is the onus of the parents. हम देखते हैं स्कूल में बच्चे स्कूल के बाहर निकलते हैं, पेरेंट्स किताबें खोलते हैं, they open the books, what is the work done, and what did the teacher teach you today, what did the teacher ask you today, is the question asked by the parents. I've seen hundreds of parents in my last 40 years of teaching. But let the parents also now start asking, what did you ask in the class today? you know and Kamla Mukunda also says, what did you ask in the class today? Ask your children, what did you ask in the class today? And I think that is where a difference comes about. And in the class also reserve 10 minutes just for questioning. Ask any kind of question. Teacher, why did you wear these specs today? Is the question which comes from a 10th standard child to me one day. That why did you wear these specs today? And I had also not realized that I had changed my specs. And then I said, oh my God, I have taken some wrong specs, I think. And this is how the children open up and the child starts thinking. Make it very informal, gradually going towards formal questions. And then children come with very, very good questions, which may be parallel thinking questions, lateral thinking questions, rational thinking questions, creative questions. You can even have topics put up on the board. Topics may not be topics which are not within their reach. Not, they shouldn't be beyond their reach. Simple topics, and see how differently the children think. You ask the children out, now the schools are reopening, and what are your ideas as to how we can keep corona out of our school, and see the thousands of ideas which you drop in. You have made them globally competent because they have started thinking, and thinking is the base of becoming globally competent. So I think that is what we need. Any other ideas for global for questioning? You can please share it in the chat box. Openness, yes, openness is so very important, and a globally competent citizen is open. Very good word. That openness is required for global competency, because if we don't think, I think we really stop growing, and we want our children to grow. So that is the most important part. And now coming to the last slide. Sorry, not the last slide, but the last box, and that is listening and reflecting. This is something which we don't like to do. We don't like to listen. And very rightly said, Sonali, that questions lead to solutions, and fearless questions are so very important. But are we as teachers really fearless? That is also one question we have to ask ourselves. And are we putting the questions in the right format? Going from understanding to creativity is something that we have to think. Coming to listening. Listening, I think, is so very important. Jayaji, you have to tell me how much time I have, okay? You all stop at 4:30?
It's 4:11. It's 4:11 now.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah, okay. So listening and reflecting. This is something very important. I'm taking specific time for this particular slide because if we understand these 4 components, I think we will be able to really implement in the classroom. And since you all are educators, I feel actually what we need to do at ground level in the classroom is something that you all would like to. So why listen? And if you see that listen word I have put in capital. Today we have lost this active listening because we are virtually present. Right now also, I am not knowing, I'm not understanding your emotions because most of us have videos off and we are poles apart from each other. I don't know what is your body language. I can't understand your intentions. I don't know how positive you are towards this. This is what is exactly happening with the children also. But in spite of that, we are thinking of various interactive assessment, assignment, ways and means through which we make our children listen. We can send free activities. And when the children come back, we know, oh my God, he has done this free activity before my lesson. That means he has given a thought to what I was saying. That means he was listening to my thoughts, to my writing. I give a post activity and he does it. And I say, oh, he has listened to what I did in the class. So that pre and post is the most important aspect. But then if you make it dull by write 5 answers and write it 3 times, there'll be no listening. You have to make it as interesting, as engaging, as joyful as possible. Because it is the first step, as rightly said by Deepak. That is the first step. And what does this word listen stand for, That is, first of all, when you are listening to the children, allow them to talk, and then only you can listen. So the first step is allow them to talk, and then you will be able to listen. So when you are listening, you yourself, L stands for looking interested. However dull that child may be looking, but he's telling you something. Listen with all interest. I stands for
Ma'am,
involve with him. Yes, Mita?
yeah, ma'am, namaste, ma'am. Listening when it's not only about talking, at times when a child is quiet in the class, not speaking anything, not responding, nothing, that also we need to listen because there is a silent message which is coming from the child, which we miss at many times, we miss
Very
it.
true. Very true. Very true. Thank you so much, Mita, for that. So that is why for that, which is involved, get involved in the child. So even if the child is sitting quietly, oh my God, this child has not spoken anything. Something is wrong with him. You have listened to his inner heart. That is listening. Listening is not just listening with your ears, but listening with your heart. The S.
Seema ma'am, there is something which I feel that relates probably to this. Somebody who is good at listening to one's own voice.
Yeah.
One who reflects and listens to his own self is better adapted to listening to others. So it
True, true.
starts with self listening, respecting your own voice and thoughts. Then you are able to respect others'
Yeah.
thoughts and voice.
And here what happens is when you listen to yourself, self-awareness is created. And when self-awareness gets created, you are also aware about the needs and sensitivity towards others. That is most important. The T stands for testing. Testing your own self, not the person who is talking, but testing whether you are listening to him properly or not. Whether you are listening to his actions, whether you are listening to that person's body language, whether you are listening to his emotions, whether you are listening to his aura. Aura is something which every person has, and that listening to the aura is the most important thing of all, that you listen to people's aura. There are certain people who enter the room and suddenly there is dead silence. There are certain people who enter the room and there is energy all around. That is nothing but aura. So you should also be able to listen to the aura of your children. The E stands for evaluation. Then not evaluating what he's talking, but evaluating your own understanding about that listening. How are you evaluating that understanding? And finally, neutralizing yourself, not getting prejudiced and listening to it. And that is why that N is so very important. Listen. And that is why sometimes in our colloquial language we say, listen na. What is that na? That stress on na. Na is neutralize and listen. Don't add your perceptions to it. Just listen to what I am saying. Listen na, we say. That na stands for that. It comes right from the heart. When we say listen na, so because someone is not, we feel that, oh my God, he's not understood na, we use that Indian colloquial way of saying. But that na has a lot of meaning in it, And then the reflection, where I think all schools, all teachers, everyone must follow the gives reflection side. Whether it's an event that has happened. At the end of the day, reserve 10 minutes to follow the gives reflection cycle. Children, what did we do today throughout the day? Can you all describe it? How did you feel about it? Let us evaluate it. What conclusion do we draw? How do you think that the day was a good day? Yeah, some of them did not do well, some were very good. So then those who did not do good today, it's fine. Every day is not a fine and a bright day. It can be a good day tomorrow, and we will do better tomorrow. So no issues at all. So, but for achieving that, let us design some actions. So okay, the children who have not been able to do this and come and see tomorrow's action will be much more better. That is what is reflection. Reflection is not just asking the children to keep quiet, but asking them to reflect. But they are little ones. They don't know how to meditate. They don't know how to reflect. So giving them the guidelines, helping them to describe, to feel, to evaluate, and then to come to conclusions and decide on the next step of action. Then they will take this judicious step. But for that, as teachers, as educators, we must listen. We must give the children a chance to listen to each other. So 10 minutes of talk time, talk to each other, share with each other. Let there be a ruckus in the class. No problem at all. Let them talk, let them share, let them enjoy, let them have fun. Yes. So I think that is so very important. So let us now move ahead to the next slide, Ashley. Yeah. So this is what I call it as the survival of the fittest. And this is the kit which we have to offer to our children. This is the Global Competency Kit. I call it as a toolkit because when we make them competent, they will be able to solve the problems. They will be able to meet opportunities. I tell you that this global competency, for your information, I had not mentioned in my, as Jay rightly said, it was some old data of mine, my profile. So yes, I am the International Global Competency Facilitator for US, and I'm doing it for children across India and across countries, where we have 17 modules. We have a global competency module for educators, for teens, for teachers, and for parents, and for the corporates. So we work on 5 modules with 18 modules which are online, 4 are virtual, and we try to make one face-to-face if possible, but last 2 years we have not been able to. But they are wonderful
And
modules.
let me tell you that you are the right person chosen for this job. And we are
Thank
so
you.
proud to be associated with you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
No, but I will say that it was the opportunity which I got where I met people, I connected with them. And that is what global competency is all about, that you connect with people and you learn from them. So because when we become globally competent, our perspectives become diverse. So sometimes I hear when I say, "Hey, how was the webinar? I couldn't attend." अरे कुछ सीखने जैसा था नहीं, खास कुछ था नहीं, कुछ नहीं था. They will say, but I always say, even if you feel that there is nothing to learn, you revisit that webinar and you will find at least 3 more points to learn, which you had not learned. Every webinar till date, whether it be webinar or a face-to-face workshop, there is no such workshop which has not taught you anything. If not anything, how not to conduct a webinar is something that you have, isn't it? So every webinar, every training has something to teach us. How does it help? Because it helps us to know the world. It helps us to learn something from the world. And this makes us survive in today's world. And I think that is the most important. Over to the next slide. Uh, Actually, the next slide, please. So, because I conduct an entirely separate workshop on these 3 competencies. Long workshops, long durations, 3 hours. But I'm just showing you all the 3 strands, which we also have used in the British Council workshop. That is global themes, global outlooks, and global skills. So these 3 together, when we are able to, pass it on to our students, transfer it, transact this learning to them, transfer it to them, I think the global competency strands are achieved. And then we can make a say truly that our children are globally competent. But for that, we need to know what are these global themes, what are these global outlooks, and what are these global skills. And then every team has a different workshop, every the outlook has a different workshop, every skill has a different workshop. So let us see what are global themes. The next slide. Uh, Global themes, I think all of you are aware of these global themes. But each theme is so different. And where again, as I say, knowledge is concerned, you will be all able to tell this 17 to your children very easily. But the skills required for the sustainable development goals, which we want to achieve by 2030, how to develop these skills is something which can be termed as globally competent person when he is enabled to do that, when he is empowered to do that, when she is empowered to do that. Then we can say, yes, we are the masters of global things, because we are not only empowered with the knowledge of it, but how to impart it. This global themes we need to understand. What does each theme consist of? So I think it is not just this 17, but if you read the total, what I will say as the document of this, every theme is again divided into points, and these 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 2.17 points, they are something which we really need to absorb as educators. For your information, Jaya, we are working on this global theme for all the teachers of Pan India, where this year, in the coming year, we are asking teachers to prepare projects based on this, and presenting at the national launch pad in the coming year. So I would love your school also to be a
Fantastic.
part of
We
it.
have participated in the past.
I know. So this will be once again the launch pad initiative where all
That's a
global
great
themes
idea,
can be.
ma'am. Great idea. We have been using these themes for our science and math exhibitions.
Yeah, thank you so much for informing that also, because I have seen always your workshops and the kind of work that children do. I see it on the Facebook also. It's really very inspiring. The
All
next
the
is the
credit goes to our teachers.
yeah, truly.
Fantastic
Yeah,
teaching.
yeah. The global skills now. So let us see what are the global skills. So if you see the European framework, you will find that these are the 6 skills which are given importance. One is the communication and collaboration, the creativity and imagination, citizenship, the leadership, digital literacy, critical thinking, and problem solving. And each skill then we discuss for 3 days. Each skill workshop is again happening for 3 days by many educators across, the European framework. It is done by them. And of course, I am happy to be a part of it, an ambassador for it, and a validator trainer also for this. So that is something which I have learned from this European framework. And finally, the last thing that is very important is the slide. Yes, the next slide, please. The global outlook. And this is what is the attitude that I talk about, and which is the most important one. Before I finish, I would like to, and that is why just understanding, I want to show you one very, very interesting slide. I know we are running short of time, but Jayaji, can I take your 4-5 minutes for that? share this next slide. Yes. Now you have to guess what is this, and you can put it in the chat box. I want you to put it in the chat box quickly. I have shared this picture with you, and I want you to share. Jayaji, with your permission, I am taking 4-5 minutes more. I hope you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead. No
Yes.
issue. So you want us to guess what is this and
Yeah,
type
you
in
have to
chat
guess
box.
what is this. This is the corona period going on. Vaccination queue. Okay? Yes, now come on, quick answers. Let us be fast.
May I
This is
speak,
a
ma'am?
rapid fire round.
I feel, recently for the new iPhone launch, there was a lot of
College
crowd.
admission, sale, waiting to get into the mall. Yeah, Jayaji, sorry, I did not hear you. I was just reading this.
Yeah, I was saying that I just saw such a crowd in the pictures for the new iPhone launch, where the
Waiting
new
to board the
iPhone was.
train. You are absolutely right, Jayaji. This is
Thank
all
you.
about the launching of iPhone 13, 14, whatever it is.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah, as I can see, the celebrity arrival is there, the train boarding is there, vaccination queue. Yeah, but this is an actual real picture which has been taken recently about the iPhone launching. And this is where I talk about the dive model. So just you can do this activity with your children, which I will tell you how to develop their perception. D is the description. First, just ask them to describe. And when they start, they say, I think that this is a picture of no. Tell them, what do you see in the picture? So I see a crowd. Most of them are wearing masks. Some are without masks. They are all hustling, bustling somewhere, or perhaps they are standing over there, looking over each other's shoulders. That is description. That is what D stands for. I will be interpretation. How do I interpret it? That is why the dive, D-I-V-E, dive model. I is the interpretation. And I feel that this is whatever you all did was now interpretation. What you all saw was description, but no one described. All interpreted it. So before interpreting, make your children describe it. Then interpret it. The third is we verify it. So which is the source? From where did it arrive? What is it about? Try to find out. So ask the children find out about it. And the fourth, then evaluating. So okay, then is this right? Should it be like this? Could there have been another way of doing it? Could this be avoided? Could it be enhanced? See, so many questions. If it is something which is really a shocking experience, you can have questions which are negative. Otherwise, you can have very, very positive things. Oh, what can we do? So wearing all the 6 thinking hats, the red, the green, the yellow, the white, the black, all the hats, 6 thinking hats of Edward D. Bono should be worn by us. And we should tell the children, now look at this picture. Describe it first. Interpret it. Verify it from all sources. Today we can verify everything. And then that is why PhDs are becoming so difficult, because there's so much of verification done. And then E, which is evaluate. And that is what is so making the children perceive things right. First, what is perception? Perception is what you see and what you interpret, and that is what is perception. So we have to understand and make children understand that don't come to conclusions immediately. I think that is the most essential thing of global competence. Because today there is so much of unrest and, devoid of peace. The world is devoid of peace. Why? Because we jump to conclusions. We make our own assumptions. We interpret things the way we want depending on our experiences. And we are not ready to listen to others. But if we apply this dive model for every life situation also, and make our children also do that, it will be really, really helpful. And yes, next slide, Ashley. So how do we embed it in our curriculum is the key of knowledge, which you all, especially I know Ramadan School keeps on doing such wonderful activities. So let us not make it a separate part, but an integrate part of our curriculum. And every small activity of our classroom, make your children competent enough in all the skills, in all the knowledge, all the themes, or the outlook which we have spoken about. A few things on my last slide, which I will show you the second. Yeah. Two things that I think we should do is attitude building and student leadership. These are the two things which we need to focus on. And that is why allow the children to take responsibility of your school. Let self-study be the model. Allow the children to set papers. This time all our terminal papers are children from class 10 to class 5 are setting up. 10th standard students are setting up their own paper. Automatically, the questioning skills are developing. Automatically, they are becoming more integrated and they are getting more that integral attitude is developing in them. You know, the integrity of the self is so important. They are becoming digitally very confident. Urban rural twinning program. I know you all are doing it at our school where you all are connecting with the rural school. Two diverse perspectives come together and lot of learning happens. Language twinning program. We did it with Assam. NEP is saying that. So we did 3 NEP pilot projects for NEP central government. And they were amazing. Intercultural learning. So allow your children to actually visit schools which are not international schools, which are state board schools, ZP schools, municipal schools. Let them spend a day over there and see how impactful it is. This unit test, we made our children write their report cards. Children made their own report cards. We gave them the format, but they put in their marks. And they had to decide what will be their ranking. So that was such a learning experience for them to judge themselves. I said, you all have to be the judge. I'm not saying that there will be total transparency from children's side, but yeah, in the course of time, they will. They will. And that faith we should have. And above all, as teachers, I think if we ask the right kind of questions and give the right kind of feedback, not only to our students, but to our colleagues, or to our parents, to all our stakeholders, I think global competency is not far away. You know, we are very much in time, I suppose. So I think all these things we must keep on trying. And as Gandhi said, think globally and act locally. So we have to think globally, but act locally. There is no need to take a flight and travel across the globe. There is no need of visiting different countries and malls and parlors for that reason. By that, we will become globally aware definitely. But competency, that has to come from within, by our attitude, by our behavior, by our knowledge, by our wisdom, and by the skills that we do for ourselves. So here comes the last slide. So how far have we come in the last 60 minutes is my question to you. Yes, the floor is open for all of you all. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to take you to this short journey of traveling the globe. Thank you so much for it. Thank you, Jayaji, for this lovely opportunity, because this is a subject close to my heart and I can talk for days together and ask together. And yes, it was really, really wonderful to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sita. Thank you, Ravi. If you have
Thank you,
anything.
Seema ma'am. Thank you so much. I think everybody could feel that urgency for being a global citizen, for realizing the importance of global competency, and the way you have put it, it was so comprehensive. You gave hundreds of ideas of how it is possible for us to develop that competency and how to cascade it. Like you said in the beginning, the purpose of all this learning in every Aadharshila talk is to ensure that this is cascaded down to our children. And you have given us ways to do it. I would not take more of your time. You have already been very kind and generous with your thoughts, wisdom, ideas. I take the opportunity to thank you on behalf of all the participants and the entire family of Ramratna International School. Look forward to your guidance and mentorship today, tomorrow, and always. Thank
My
you.
honor and pleasure, Jayaji. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Once again, I'm telling you, please call me Jaya. Neither Jaya ji nor Jaya ma'am. I'm just